start telling people about hell, I might just scare them off. Where are you going to scare them off to? Hell number 2? Or are you just going to sit there and let them burn?
This is Chris from Don't Let Them Burn. Welcome to the program. This is Hollywood Matrix, episode 18. And today we're going to do a blink twice decode. Sorry, we have a bunch of technical difficulties. My camera's not working. And I think William will be on screen soon. But we're both audio available. And okay, so don't forget to go check out don'tletthemburn.com. And also you can follow me on Twitter or X, Rumble, obviously YouTube, and follow me on Telegram at Don't Let Them Burn Official. And so if you're new to this channel, we ask for you to share and comment in the comment section. Give us a thumbs up. And this is going to be a pretty interesting decode. I technically watched the movie twice, so I had to take screenshots, but it's going to be good. And William, if you want to introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for having me. Glad to be here. This movie came to my attention through my research in the Epstein files, so there might be some overlap, but I also think it's particularly suited for you because of your artistic background. There's a lot of sculpture in this and art, but I am William Ramsey. I've written 5 books and have a podcast, so you can check out William Ramsey Investigates. I'm pretty much a full-time investigative journalist, cover a lot of different topics, but I do like to kind of decode Hollywood. I just did another one earlier today about Disclosure Day, which I believe is one of the most evil movies ever made. That glorifies aliens as demons. But today is a similar one because this film came out in 2024 before the drop of the Epstein files. So it's very interesting, and I do have a picture to share because the woman who directed this is Zoe Kravitz, who is kind of, I would say, Hollywood royalty. Her dad is Lenny Kravitz, and her mom is Lisa Bonet, and those two have an interesting background in and of themselves. But I think that she's around this stuff is my guess. I don't know her obviously, but I do think that if you could share this picture, I think it's a good intro. I should have put it into my slides, but this is from a great researcher named Becca Day, but it's Puff Daddy with Trump, and this woman in blue is a possible sex trafficking victim of Epstein. And then there's Lenny Kravitz right there. Right. That's the father of the director, Zoe Kravitz. So my guess is that there may be rumors because Puff Daddy had a very vivid personal life, is a way to put it, much like Epstein and much like Trump. Yeah. So I think this film kind of can be seen as a distillation or maybe a reveal of these lifestyles of very rich, wealthy people. And I really like the film. Like, I've seen it a couple times now. I give it a 4 out of 5. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's The Godfather or Chinatown or something like that, but yeah, I do think it's worth watching on a smaller budget, 20 million budget.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was quite interesting.
And it's smart, it's clever, it's craftily written, it's confusing. I think that there are themes in this of mind control, amnesia, and I think it's deliberately, like, they messed up the times. They don't really show it. It's kind of, it has a little it has a beginning and end, but kind of the intros and the middle parts are a little jumbled, I think intentionally. And I think it's wise, cleverly written and portrayed. And I think the actors are really good too.
Yeah, pretty good acting. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss a lot that really gives away the whole thing, but you have to pay attention. I'm gonna go through a little bit of the beginning and then we're gonna go back and forth here, because I know that your slides incorporate a lot that I have as well. Okay. So let's see here. Hide. And so the film starts off with this warning about Blink Twice is a psychological thriller about the abuse of power, While this is fictionalized movie, it contains mature themes and cautions of violence, including sexual violence. This may be upsetting and triggering for some viewers, right? And so this symbol right here, the lizard, is very important. At first, you're like, okay, why they're showing us this stupid green lizard, right? But it's very important to the end of the movie. And I know I'll let you talk about it.
Right. The smiley face. It comes up in our earlier decodes. Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
So this is a motif throughout the whole movie. They're passing this lighter amongst themselves the whole time, and it does have an exoteric and esoteric meaning. And I do believe it's a secret society symbol, and it's like be happy, but never reveal anything. Keep a quiet face.
Yeah.
Never show the sad side or darker sides of things. And it's used as a motif by Alan Moore in the so many of his movies, but the particular one is with the comedian in the what is it? The something
Watchmen.
man. Was it
Watchmen?
Thank you.
Yeah. So and let me know. Anytime. Let me know when you want to jump to your slides because we got.
Let's go through yours first, and then I'll see which ones I can kind of fill in for.
Okay. So
how many slides do you have, Chris?
About 200.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, and
let's go through yours, and I'll try to do stuff because.
All right. So here in the movie, she's obsessed with social media, and she's watching cat videos, car wrecks, whatever, right? And so the reel continually plays, and then she bucks up on Slater King. For some reason, she now gets obsessed with Slater King. And later on in the movie, you're wondering why this part right here actually attracted her, and it could be some sort of repressed memory. Okay, so and
watching this movie twice makes it make sense. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
This is total spoiler alert. We're gonna ruin this movie for people if you have 200 slides. I only have like 70.
So Slater is on this thing about apologizing, and he's saying, sorry, King. Yeah, so Slater King. So he's doing this video, and he said he sought therapy and blah blah blah. And then they start showing articles. I only pulled up one that you have a screenshot as well. Party boy billionaire apologizes for abuse of power and regrettable behavior. King Tech CEO and founder Slater King released a formal apology Wednesday on various social media outlets directly responding to ... right? And then there's an official interview here where he's talking about his island now, and then no phone, no work. We grow our own food. We have chickens, blah, blah, blah. And the lady says, and he made the CFO, Vic Mahoney, CEO of King Tech. She's asking a question. So last year, you also started the King Tech Foundation, right? Which is what a lot of these so-called philanthropists do, billionaires, to make themselves look better than they actually are. And so here he's talking about being sorry, and but I've said these words so many times. This is very key. Now later on, I don't have a screenshot of when he kept saying sorry, but it's very integral to the end of the movie as well.
But it all parallels Epstein, who was kind of a fallen figure from his conviction in 2008, I believe. So there are kind of curious similarities.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. And let me see here. Then he says, hold on. He pretty much said, and he said this so many times that they've lost meaning, the word sorry.
Right.
And then from there now we go back to the girl. And I've skipped a lot just to make sure we have some.
Well, I would also like to add one of the things in the slides there is that he says we have our own chickens.
Yes.
And that is very telling. There's that he's using code words from the very beginning. And that chicken is a very well-known code word for pedophiles know that stuff. And so there's a hint. There's not overt. The women who are on the island at this time are all adults. They're portrayed as adults, but there's hints of that underlying Lolita things in this, and I'll show them in my slides for sure. But he says chickens. deliberate word, in my opinion.
Right. And one thing we forgot to mention already, because it's in the film so much, is the color red.
Yes.
He's sitting in a red chair, and doesn't this have some something to do with correlation with Epstein as well?
It certainly does with Eyes Wide Shut, where red is everything. They use the color red for the carpet, for the pool table, for the motifs and all this stuff. So maybe there's a tie there, but they're color coding through the whole film of this film. But as far as Epstein and the kind of red, his studio was all red. It's kind of weird. So his, like, all the walls were painted red, which is unusual. It does happen, but it's not that common.
Yeah, and there's another thing called a red room where people do all sorts of weird,
which is real, and it actually pops up in this whole rape things that went down in England. They actually had red rooms for these girls, where like 250,000 British girls were raped.
Yeah. And also, I know we're going to pay a lot of attention on red, but do not mistake the black and the white. You're going to see a correlation in the white, which symbolizes purity and virginity and all this stuff. And we'll get to that in a minute. But the black as well, it's the yin and the yang going on right now. And it's the duality. And I can't remember if there's going to be much of the fusion of opposites, but all three colors there matter. Okay. So as we move, we get to this young lady again, and here we go with the red black pack. She has the black vest on and the white shirt.
The other thing that in my slides we can show them, when she's on the toilet, she has that lighter and she puts it down on top of a book titled,
oh snap, hello.
Yeah, Success is the Best Revenge is the book. She puts it down on. So you see that I have the same slide. The lizard, there's the lighter. He's a self-made billionaire. You mentioned philanthropath, but philanthropic gifts, like he's a they all present themselves as philanthropic.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing here. He's talking chickens. It's lost meaning. This is the lighter that shows up throughout the whole movie. Yeah. If you read the title there, it says Success is the Best Revenge. Well,
yes.
Frida, which is an unusual name, and it brings to mind Frida Kahlo for me, but I don't know. Maybe that's intentional. I don't know. But there's the lighter again. They throw it around and pass it around all the time.
I have some of that too. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, and this is where this next scene, which we'll show, and we can bounce back to your slides. But it's the museum that's in Mexico City. That's the outside. It's called the Sumaya Museum, and it's an interesting story in and of itself. And you'll see that here. These are pictures from the museum's website. You'll see The Thinker by Rodin. We talked about that in our Epstein Deviant Art discussion. And there's the Gates of Hell. We talked about that. So they're both next to each other. Yeah. And so this is the inside. And you see how impressive the Gates of Hell are compared to the individuals there.
And for people, sorry, not to cut you off. Okay. For people that don't, this is not the Gates of Hell mentioned in the Bible by the Grotto of Pan. This is something totally different.
Correct. It's I think based on biblical reference, but it's something by Rodin where he integrated a lot of his other sculptures, and you'll see this is the fairies, or what's the name of this one? The three shades in the back, and that predominates in this film. So you'll see them walking through this gallery in Blink Twice. So it's cool that they had it as a backdrop. And then there's also the Pieta. This kind of, I don't know who the artist of this particular Pieta. It's a common depiction in sculpture, but it is odd that these people are dressed the way the director chose to dress these people. It's almost in kind of a religious attire. Yeah. So this MC is almost in like a monk's habit, maybe, but I wouldn't wear this to a fancy party, whatever. Right. Maybe it's high fashion or something. Yeah. We did that show on Balenciaga, but we can bounce back to your slides.
Okay.
There's the Gates of Hell on the left. Yeah. This is the same shot, but with the tables. You see the red. So you see the continuation of the red theme, like you mentioned, and how impressive this building and the interior is. They really chose something pretty cool. This is directly from Epstein's files, guys. You can see the EFTA number on the bottom there. So Epstein was interested in buying this, And when I go back and check this out, the shows I did with Chris, because I think he read this entire thing about buying it for 22 or 23 million. We don't have to go into that. Here's the red and blue motif too. But if you want to bounce back to your slides, go ahead.
Okay, let me see here. Boom, at the stage. All right, so before we get to those scenes, we have her with the red backpack on. And I don't know what it says there on the patch, but I just wanted to show the red, the black, and the white again. And so this is her boss giving her some bit about making herself invisible. This is a key moment in the beginning of the film because she doesn't want to be invisible. So this is psychologically repressing her to not show out. And they don't give a context of what happened prior to this, but he didn't like it. All right, so now the friend comes in and they say a couple of words and whatever, but here goes the thing about the lighter. Somebody's trying to borrow her lighter, and you don't catch it right away until you watch it again, you know? And she says, yeah, and I want it back. And this becomes a theme in the rest of the film as well. And she says, I'm going to have to write my name on that thing, right? And that's what happens in the rest of the film. Now, notice that the lighter is Frida, the black chick. That's the one that had the lighter prior.
Right, so it's being passed around, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the theme, right? Girls being passed around.
Right.
Right. So here we go. So she said, I heard you sneaking out last night at 3 a.m. Interesting time. But it seems like the woman was trying to connect with a old flame or something. So anyway, they skip to this now where she says to her friend, I just can't magically erase stuff from my brain. And this is another theme because it's all about forgetting. And you'll see it come alive as we
amnesia, right?
Yeah. So here's the scene again. So he's introducing himself to the audience and whatever. We want to talk. You all thank you all for being here tonight. And there's the red tables and then the black and the white again. So all three colors are important, but the red stands out to our brain because it's a color for attention. The rest of the colors are not, right? And in fact, white is not a color and black is not a color, if you know color theory. All right. So she now is looking for the host to come up. And remember, she's obsessed with King. She doesn't really know why she's obsessed with him, but she's obsessed anyway, right? So she's looking on. And there we go, the same screenshot of the gates of hell for those that don't know. And then we think the thinking man again. So we have three different messages coming this way. Thinking man, gates of hell, and what's that called up there? The statue holding the person?
It's the three, oh geez, no, I can't even remember. The three, I do know this. The three seances or something like that. I just said it. It's shoot, I'll find it.
Yeah. And then the person holding the other person reminds me of the mother and son cult, but I don't know the statue, its name or anything, but I think you mentioned it like a couple minutes ago.
The three shades, excuse me. Sorry.
Three shades up there.
Yeah.
All right. So now she's continually trying to get to look at King, and her friend is like, "You're gonna sprain your neck." You know, and then she replies like, I'd rather break my neck, and continue looking. And we get this little shot here to show you what do you see there? You see a red handkerchief and you see the black and white suit. You can miss the red handkerchief very quickly. All right. Now, so now and we're going back to what you mentioned a minute ago. They're saying this is the red backpack, and they're asking which color, red or blue. And this is a duality. It could be towards politics. It could be towards anything. But this the blue is singling out the friend here. I think her name is Jess from everyone around. These people don't seem important now, but some of them you'll see later. So it's singling her out that she will be the disruptor.
Interesting.
Right? And so now she's success is the best revenge.
Same things. This is also another important theme, right?
Right, yeah. And so from here, she says, you think he'll remember me? And we don't know the whole context of all that, right? Because and I can't say it yet, but
yeah, major spoiler alert.
yeah. So her friend says, who can forget you? And then so I stopped here because of the interesting statues all around, and I can't explain all of these things to you, but all of them are perverted. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and by the way, my understanding is this museum was put together by Carlos Slim, at one point one of the richest people in the world, if not the richest person. And he has a very vivid background. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. And so we get to this scene, and it looks innocuous, like nothing's going on there, but the person to the left there, the one in the red and the one in the red bow tie, they're both important for later. Right? So visually, the director, what's her name again?
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, you got to give her kudos for like putting all this stuff behind the scenes, so it registers with your mind later, but you don't really know. Let's see here. So
guys, this is a very clever film. It's well crafted from beginning to end. It's bookended well too.
Yeah, I don't know what that statue is in the background, but that's
the same one I just said. It's the three seances,
okay.
The three shades.
Yeah, got you.
That's on the top of the gates of hell.
Yeah,
it's the same depiction. Yeah.
Okay, so now this is where Frida falls, accidentally, and glass breaks. Okay, let me say something. The fall here, it's not about fallen angels or anything like that. This happens 3 times in the movie for her. And so here she's on broken glass or near broken glass, and her friend is like, oh, like so embarrassing, right? And then she has the glass there with her, next to her, I mean. And in the middle of all this, King comes and picks her up and starts to introduce her to people. So I skipped some of those slides just to get to the point. And here she says, blink twice if I'm in danger, because she was just introduced to the VP of the company. And we don't know why she's even saying this. I don't even think she knows, right? And so as we move, I took this one because this.
But he blinks twice. He does blink twice back to her. That's what's important.
Okay.
Is McLaughlin, who is the doctor, Dr. Stein.
Yeah.
Very important figure from beginning to end. He blinks twice back at her. Yeah. So he's telling her she's in danger.
Mm-hmm. And this guy here, he's not super important except for one scene, a couple scenes in the end. He is a military. And I'll just leave it at that. And so he comes and helps her clean up her hand from the glass that cut her. Okay.
Literally, the pictures of Epstein's like bodyguard looks almost exactly like this guy.
What?
Except without gray hair. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's incredible.
Wow. So
and he followed them around like this guy. Like it's so strange, Chris. Let me see if I can find his bodyguard, because it's just so the feel is so similar.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be something these wealthy people know about these like bodyguards, is how they operate like this. They're just ever present. They're more than bodyguards. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't really talk in the movie until this scene and way later near the end. So they kept him on the wraps for a while. I think we would have got suspicious. I mean, from the minute we start the movie, we already know something's wrong, right?
Right. Like, there's something amiss.
Yeah. And so, unless you have something to show,
nope.
No. Yep. Okay. All right. So here, actually haven't asked your name. This is a ruse, but I'm not going to tell you why. And the guy back there is the VP. Right in the left there. That's the VP. And so
No, that's not. That's the doctor. That's Stein.
oh yeah, that's the
Stein.
therapist.
That's
Sorry
Stein.
about that. That's the therapist. Yeah.
That's the therapist. He's an important figure because he's actually not the therapist. He's you'll see throughout the film, he's in contexts where like he walks out of the office with other people. Like what kind of therapy is that? He's got like they're all group therapy or something. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So he asks for her name and she says Frida, I'm Frida, and chuckles nervously. And he looks, this is the one of the most deceptive part of the movies. Deceptive in a good way that they're not giving you too much, but what the normal mind will think is that he's now into her for some strange reason. And they play through this throughout the whole movie. He doesn't kiss her, he might dance with her, maybe even give her a hug. But it seems like there's some interest in her that's so veiled, but it's supposed to be good, and it turns out that it's not. So anyway, now he's introduces her to the therapist, Dr. Rick
Stein, I think.
Stein. Yeah, and so chuckles. He's actually my therapist. Very nice to meet you. Blink twice if I'm in danger, right? And let's see. Let's not answer that one right away. Oh, yeah, he cuts him off from saying something to her because what's going on with these, or at least her at the moment, it's if he says a trigger word, things will start coming to her, right? And in the background there are the same people right there, mostly to the left. And then you have the security guard on the right, the military guy. They're all in presence. So you could psychologically be in your mind, in the back of your mind, see what's going on, but you won't pick up on it. So this is a guy that's like a wimp, but he's in the tech company for King. And here she's introduced to, I think her name is Frida.
Frida's the girl in the red. And then the girl on the right, I can't remember her name.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I remembered. But hey, yeah, Frida's on the red. I'm sorry, on the left. And this girl at first snubs her. So what you think automatically is that she might have some interest in King, but that's her boyfriend in the back. Okay.
Right. He's one of the crew. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, she snubs her and whatever. Then you move on to this guy. And I think that's Jess in the back there. She says pretty much, oh, I didn't get there yet. So it says right here, it says, you got all that. It's a bit of a whirlwind and, conversation, blah, blah, blah. And here she's like, I know you from somewhere. And he says, no, I don't think so. But they never, at least I didn't catch it. They never give a clue like this woman has been here before or anything. At least her. All right. So now we get to the next scene here. We're at the red table. And this is the group. Not everybody in the room, but right here at the table, and 1, 2, 3 in the back there are now going to go somewhere. But before that, they introduced this lady who, interestingly, is not in red, but she kind of should be, right? And
she is the Ghislaine Maxwell of the whole story.
Yes. And so as we move, this is an interesting scene because it's dynamic to what's going on in the background there. And again, I don't know the statue. I don't know the story behind it, but we have the red and blue, and they're talking about...
It's a Pieta. It's of Christ. It's Christ with his mom, with Madonna.
Oh, so it is the Black Madonna.
It's a depiction of it. I don't know who actually was the sculptor of that. But
okay, so I wanted to make sure because, but the Black Madonna, the mother and child cult, and different depictions all over the planet of this thing. So anyway, I think this scene is important, not because she's asking, did you get his number or anything like that, because Frida is supposed to save Jess, but things happen that didn't accommodate that, right? So she's like supposed to take care of her because she's just along for the ride.
Right.
And so she says, of course I didn't get his number, how, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to this scene now where he's inviting them. Do you guys want to come? and everybody ends up on his jet, his private jet. And I only took one scene of this. There, as the camera pans by to the right, we see a bunch of people wasted, hung over, and whatever, flying to this island. And then when we get there, we see all this red and white.
Hold on, let me go back to my slides. I want to show the audience something that's very
Let
interesting.
me take this out.
Because the picture of the island that they took that is in these it literally looks like Epstein Island. This is like the blink twice sequence, but look at this island. It literally looks like this. This is a literal picture of the island from Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah, it's on this. Oh, okay, this one. Okay.
Yeah, it says William.
Remove at the stage. All right.
That's literally from a picture from Jeff. And then you go back to that other one, and it's like almost a similar depiction.
Yeah.
Like it's the same. It could be the same island. Yeah. I don't know. But it was like when I saw it, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah.
So red bags. This is what slide is this? They're saying something like cheese or something cheesy. But I mean, there's interesting conversation. Oh, they have their clothes already made. So like there's a hint of something's going on. Like, how do we always have these clothes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's this strange lady, snake lady, who makes the sign of silence. Mm-hmm. And she asks her, "Are you the Red Sparrow?" Mm-hmm. And literally Epstein talks about the Red Sparrow, which is like a movie about kind of some stuff like this. So she's in red, and the lady recognizes her. So she talks to her like she knows her, but Frida has no clue.
Right.
It's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But at one point they go, "Is the human sacrifice before or after dinner?" Like they literally say this when they're walking out.
Yes.
And then this guy, well, you mentioned him earlier. Mm-hmm. That's actually the kid from The Sixth Sense grown up.
Yes.
But those are Lolita. Somebody's remarked that I did a show. Those are like Lolita type glasses. So the two heart-shaped glasses is what Lolita wears. So I think that they're doing that in yellow and directing, and that's the yellow code, the smiley face yellow code that's coded to pedophilia or Lolita, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Stuff. So.
All right.
There's and this they mentioned this thing in here. This is red. This flower. It's called Desidera. It doesn't exist in real life. They made up a flower for this movie.
Oh, okay.
And she smells it a lot, and she sprays this Desideria on her body. And she saes, "Forgetting is a gift."
All right. Wait. Pause right there. We need to go back to my slide. Hold on. Remove and add. All right, let's see. All right, let's go. So pay attention to the building, all red and white, or sometimes it's all red. Notice right there in the back, they're carrying a red chair. Why would they be traveling with that? I'm like, what?
Right, so it's his red throne chair. Wow.
Yeah. Okay,
good eye.
Yeah. So when they're greeted now, by the woman in purple, she brings out a red bag, and they put all their cell phones in this bag, and some are resistant, but most of them just go ahead and do it. Now, I don't want you to miss this. She has on a red dress as well, and the other one has a mixture of whatever that is, but it's mostly red. And then we get to the shot now. 3 ladies in red dresses, one in blue because she's the disruptor, but the second disruptor is in black. Right. And the reason I'm saying disruptor, we'll get to that in a minute. But I just noticed that as I'm taking the screenshots here. So I'm like, why she's not in red, So anyway, and we didn't catch it at first, but the snake lady is right there in the middle at the back, the short lady. The short Hispanic lady. Now she doesn't hardly speak a lick of English, but as we move, then they show us the title, blink blink, really quickly too, and then we see this guy taking his photos. Seems like he's the best friend of the king guy. And back to the flowers again. This is his favorite place, and she goes and she sniffs and she says she'll be all right, and then she continues to walk in or observe the place, and then we get the red flower on the bed with a dress. If you're not looking carefully, you'll miss the dress and how it's laid out like an angel. See that? And so in the bathroom now, you have the perfume that's made from the fake plant, which we'll get to the name in 2 seconds. Descendaria. All right. And so she starts to spray this thing all over her. And then she finds a red lipstick in the drawer there. But it seems like she thought maybe it belonged to another woman or something. So that was a little confusing, but whatever, right? So then she meets up with this lady who is the snake lady. She has snake tattoos all over her, and she keeps calling her Red Rabbit, Red Rabbit. And of course, it gives her some confusion, like, well, what the hell is a Red Rabbit, right? And so now they're back to what you just showed. They're walking out there together, and Jess, the disruptor, says, "So do you think it's weird that there's like clothes for us?" And of course, Frida is like, I don't think it's weird. I think it's just like rich. Well, do you know where we're supposed to go? And so Jess is always like, oh, don't ruin my day, man. I'm having fun, But Jess is like, something's going on. But we don't get back to that too often until near the end of the movie or the middle of the movie, right? And so they're asking these two guys that are carrying red flowers. You see the red other building back there, where we're supposed to go. And they look at them all weird. They look like they don't speak English as well. And then we get to this scene where now all the girls are starting to dress in white. Okay, that symbolism of purity and all this other stuff, and has other meaning in voodoo and the occult. But anyway, more red, and they're dressed in white now. Okay. So another symbolism in the movie is the red raspberries that they put in the champagne. And the champagne isn't spiked. It's real champagne, no drugs or nothing like that. But it's another one of these motifs. And then we get here, does anyone have a lighter? She keeps asking for her lighter throughout the movie, right? And so now as this other woman is smoking her blunt, the tech guy now is saying, and this is a very important scene, by the way. I don't know if you caught this, but he says, I love working at King Tech. I'm learning a lot. Hey, Vic, somebody's asking him, oh, this is another thing too. A lot of watermelons, because watermelons inside are red, right? And so somebody's asking him, hey, Vic, you want a watermelon? But then he goes on to say, make sure I'm showing the right thing here. Cause the world is changing. There's not going to be dollars. Did you catch that, William?
I think he wants to be the crypto king.
Yeah, but the fact that he says they're not going to be dollars, because most people think that dollars going to be around forever, but it was just one of those little things they just slid in there, But let's see here. So now here she's walking with King. Now remember, she thinks that he's taking interest in her. Okay, so she's saying now it's not what I thought it would be, and he says, "What do you mean?" And she says the legendary parties of Slater King with drugs and debauchery, and he says, "We still do drugs," and whispers it. So in the next scene now, someone drops some red bags on the floor, and she runs to help her. It's the lady from the beginning in the purple dress. I can't remember. I don't even remember her name. But anyway, the king is basically telling her, "Don't worry, she can pick up after herself. She can help herself or whatever." And so then she tells Slater this other thing. Now, getting to more important issues here, they start to have their first party with all every night. They have good food the chef makes for them, and I don't know if in the food there are any secret messages for us to talk about, but this is the first night, and now this guy is dinging on the glass there, and he says offerings time for the real dessert. Now, notice all these candles are everywhere, like a dang ritual. But he says these beautiful psilocybin and MDMA droppies, right, will introduce you to your ancestors. So, and it has a red heart on it. Okay. And the bottle is black for the hidden nature of at least this is how I see it, the hidden nature of what's inside. And he says, blessings, children of the forest, which to me, it's a callback to the Lord of the Flies. And I could be wrong, but that's what it seems to me. And Lord of the Flies, by the way, guys, is Baal. He is the Lord of the Flies. Beelzebub, yes. And so,
to me, it's like a callback to paganism and Druidism, because the girls start running around drugged in the forest. Yeah.
Yes. And so no one else grabs the bottle but Frida for whatever reason. I think she wants to be adventurous. I don't know. So he says, who's first? She grabs the bottle and she's basically asking how many for her to take. And the scene went by quick, but King is now addressing her without speaking, and everyone's looking on like he's the master, and he says, set your intention. Basically 1, 2, 3 drops. Now they never say how many drops you need to take, but they start to get into their whole little euphoric state, and so I love you so much, and you're so beautiful, and being idiots at a strange place where no one knows each other, right? That's revealed later in the movie, but I didn't take the screenshot, so I just say it now. These people don't know each other, except for the people that do. All right, and so both start laughing hysterically, like they're on pot, but it's worse than that. And this scene now, I didn't capture the screenshot, but at the table, she had a red, she had like a steak blood on her dress, and all of a sudden it's gone. They never explain why it's gone. We don't know if she's hallucinating, but the camera's looking, so we can't tell. And on her nails there are some sort of animal. So anyway, the next day, she's who is this looking at? I think it's Jess looking on from the pool, and she sees the lady again. Now they have a snake problem around the property. These yellow vipers that they constantly have to kill, but later on we'll see that they're using them for something else. And so the lady looks at her and kind of gives this weird looking laugh, and you see her snake tattoos, and she's the only one that we know of that's constantly catching these snakes, right? And so anyway, as we move, we see the women in their druid-like performance here, saying 6 and all these other numbers. This is one of the weirdest scenes in the movie, because are they only acting like this because they're on drugs? And if they are only acting like this because they're on drugs, who prompted them to do this? Because it's really symbolic of a lot of things that go into paganism. And so a lot of so there are about 5 nights of this whole dancing, drug infested, no orgies are going on or anything like that, but there are drug parties, and the dancing, the walking around in these white dresses, and a lot of laying around by the pool drinking champagne with raspberry in it. So as we move, this woman is asking for a lighter again, right? And I don't know what this woman's name is, but she's the one with the lighter this time. And she has the red flowers in her head. I don't know what that means, but you have the white chessboard. So eventually this chessboard shows up a couple times. So there's going to be a checkmate somewhere, but it's not what you think. And then they skip to purposefully show us more red, the red jelly. Like, okay, this kind of looks, what are you trying to tell us here? Right. And of course she eats it, and then we move on to what happens in this movie. They switch from day to night so fast that you don't know what day it is, and that's
it's intentional. This is where it gets confusing.
Yes,
they're deliberately fuzzying time.
Right.
So they're
Because
deliberately making it unclear what's day, what night, what's following what.
yes, and the theme in the movie, remember, remembering, forgetting, remembering, forgetting. So the women later on start to say, I don't know what day it is. And other people say, I don't care what day it is, you know? And so in this scene now, she's explaining to King in the night scene, obviously, that he says he sees blue cats on her nails, and she makes this corny joke about their nail mals, right? And they go through that conversation, and he knows what's going on, but she doesn't. And so anyway, after the scene, she ends up with his what's that thing called? Vape pen. And later she ends up in the red chair, walking through his property. She's not supposed to be in there. And who comes out later is, guess who?
The
The
therapist.
therapist.
He's in therapy with the guy, his buddy Slater, whatever. And Christian
Yeah.
Slater, I forgot his name, but
Yeah. And I don't know, we have to kind of look at everything. I don't know what that statue is in the background. Somebody doing a dap, which is from Freemasonry, by the way. For those that know, that's where the dance came from. And so he walks up and they're introducing him to Frida again, right? And she says, I remember you. And he looks like, you ain't supposed to remember nothing. Right? He's like looking at her so weird. And she says, from the gala. Blink twice if I'm in danger. And she chuckles, right? And he says, yeah, that's right. But this is not really explained right here. I'm kind of jumping ahead just a little bit, right? So anyway, as we move,
but the yellow is very important too. He walks out with the yellow shirt, the same.
Oh yeah.
The same yellow as the lighter that's being passed around.
Yes. And here goes yellow again. And does it connect to directly? Because she's the only one with the yellow towel over her body, and that's important for later. But there we go, passing the lighter on again. And then they ask about Cody's special knife. Cody is the coder. Now, I didn't get those screenshots because they're not super, super important until later, but still, wouldn't waste time on that. But I just don't know where it went. And so anyway, just now walking around in the bushes somewhere, and guess who she see? The yellow viper getting picked up by the woman that they killed again. This lady's constantly picking up snakes. So she looks weirded out, like, and she's technically the only smart one there, but not too smart. And so anyway, we go back to the night scene, and they're doing their whole smoking and talking and blah. And let's see, who has got it? Who has got it? She's asking for her lighter again. And this woman here says, I don't even remember taking it. It's very important that she says that, okay? Because she really doesn't remember. At first, you think, oh, you just trying to gaslight her, And so anyway, later that night, they start the drugs again and whatever. And what happens next is they turn around, they hear a scream, and she says, something bit me, right? And it turns out to be a snake, and they say, yes, there it is. And King comes over and kills the snake, and there it is. You're okay, you're fine. And so in the next shot now, after all of this commotion, Frida and Jess are talking, and she says, I'm scared, Frida. I think Frida says, I think you just need to sleep. She says, don't. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Basically, don't gaslight her. And she's breathing and trembling, right? And she says, can't you feel it softly? And there's something wrong with this place. And Frida says, what's wrong? And I seriously want to know. And she says, is it the amazing food? Or the tsunami of champagne, while she chuckles? Or is it the 1020 thread count basically on the sheets and all that stuff. And she says, "What is it?" She says, "You're not listening to me. Please." For the first time, this is Frida talking now. For the first time in my life, I'm here crying. And not invisible. Remember, she needs attention. She doesn't get it at home. She always feels invisible. So now she feels like she's found a place where she can be comfortable and paid attention to, and she believes the guy is into her. So please. And then she says, "I'm sorry." Jess says, "I'm sorry." And she says, okay, I'm gonna go lay down. Because she's looking at her friend like, "I cannot believe you're not even paying attention to what I'm saying here. Something's weird." Right. So anyway, that same night, what happened in all of these night scenes I showed you is you constantly hear the clicking of pictures constantly. And this is one of those scenes, right? And these people again don't have a clue, right? And here is Jess now bleeding from her nose because she was bitten by the snake. And very important for you to remember about the snake bite and the venom. Okay. So now Frida is going wherever she's going, and she finds a red bag on the floor. We don't know why the red bag's there, but this is where they keep all the red bags. And again, the HUD is red and and she walks in and she sees all these red bags mysteriously just lined up for whatever reason. And she starts to look around, being nosy, and she hears a creaking and there's a door behind her. And she walks in and laughs because guess who's in there? Red Rabbit, Red Rabbit. So she has this flask in her hand, and it seems that it's alcohol, right? So Frida's like, "I'm not going to tell anybody. It's okay, you know." Now we're not sure if this woman understands any other English words except for Red Rabbit, okay? Because that's all she says to the movie. And so now Frida takes the flask and drinks and starts choking and coughing and spits it out. But she did swallow some. And she's like, "Oh my goodness, what is that? That's crazy strong," and laughs. And the woman starts again, "Red Rabbit, Red Rabbit, Red Rabbit." Right? And then it cuts. And so now we're back, and everybody's exhausted from all the nights of partying and drinking and all this stuff that they do. And again, sex has not come into the picture yet. So they're asking different questions here, and I kind of skip around a little bit on these slides here because the conversation is not the most important at this point. But here we go again with the dang lighter, right? And remember, Jess, it was bleeding from the nose. And Jess is not at the table with everyone else. Okay? So they're at the poolside now, and Frida here is like, "Hold on, where's Jess?" And the girls are like, "What do you mean?" Now, to the person that's seeing this for the first time, you might think, "Oh, these girls are just trying to gaslight her. They know exactly what's going on, you know?" And she's like, "What do you mean? What I mean? Like, you should know who I'm talking about." And they all turn around and look at her. Who is Jess? Right? You okay? And so I skipped a bunch of dialogue here and just tried to skip down to where we get to this scene where, okay, so Frida couldn't remember a few things. She drank the venom and she started to bleed from the nose as well. And so now she's telling this girl what's going on, and she thought she was crazy at first, and then now she hasn't drank the venom, but she's listening. And she says here, "I'm having a great time here." But then she goes into the thing about them distracting us with these cute little outfits, and they shower us with raspberry and champagne. and we know what's really going on, but she doesn't really know. She's just assuming because of the showering and everything that we really know what's going on. And this knife is the knife they were talking about from Cody, but it showed up earlier in the movie. And Frida had it first, and the girl in the green thought she was crazy, so put down the knife. And then she picks it up and she's going on her tirade, right? But anyway, as we move, they get into the same room again, and Frida's like, your friend, you remember her? Or is it the young lady? Anyway, they said that. One of them said that, but now she's like, I'm pretty sure it's snake venom. And you think you think snake venom's gonna make us remember? And she drinks it, right? So they've come up with a scheme now to get all the girls to remember. And now I'm specifically only talking about the girls, and I'm saying that for a particular reason. So they decide to serve the venom with tequila to kind of numb the taste in the women, right? In the women's taste buds. So they all start drinking their tequila and all this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, this tastes it's pretty strong. It's kind of nasty, whatever, right?" And so this young lady here, she starts to remember the guy behind her is walking up because that's supposed to be her boyfriend, who is also capable of what's going to go on later. And she elbows him accidentally in the nose, and he's like, "What? Why'd you do that?" Blah blah blah, and he walks off. So anyway, so this young lady and Frida are free from the forgetting drink, right? The thing that makes you forget, right? I think it's the perfume actually. And so here we go. She's now headed to this headquarters to where she wants to investigate and find the cell phones, right? And she finds out that the cell phones are pretty much useless. Their batteries probably died. It's been a couple days or whatever, you know. But she also finds pictures of people that have been there already, right? And people, you know, she doesn't really know what's going on, but she's like surprised that all these photos have been taken. And so King now returns and he's going up to where she is, but he's not necessarily looking for her. But he did ask about her whereabouts. And now in this room, you want to say anything about this picture on the wall, William?
No, it's just there's a lot of strange art, just like on Epstein's house. There's a lot of strange stuff. I unfortunately am up against a time constraint. Maybe we should do a part 2. Like we're at the hour mark too.
Okay.
So I gotta run, but thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right.
If you want to just keep going, you can. That's fine. I gotta run.
All
right, Chris. Peace.
All right, I'll finish it up. See you later.
Bye.
All right. So I'm not sure about all the symbolisms on the wall with the rabbits and the Kingsman or whatever that is, but here they're trying to make you seem like they're trying to make it seem like he caught her, because he's like, "What are you gonna do? Or what are we gonna do about you?" Right? And he says, And they show her under his desk. But it turns out that he didn't really know she was there. He goes and sits in his red chair and starts to have a conversation about that with people in the room. And she starts to see, now some of my slides at the end here might be a little mixed up, but I'm going to keep going. So right while she's under the desk here, she starts to have a memory about somebody hitting something, and they have like a cross on their neck, and for some reason that triggers a memory. And the next scene here is where she sees some sort of I don't know what that is on the floor, but we don't really know what's going on exactly, but we hear somebody say, "Stop moving, babe." The Spanish girl and the boyfriend, he's saying that to her. So we don't know what's going on yet. And then we flash back to the chair. He's sitting there, he's having this conversation about the stupid chair. And then we flash back to her, and she's like really down about what she's starting to remember now, right? And then somebody else says, "Stop moving." And now we see the women laid out on the ground. And we see Frida here, like this is not happening in real time. She's remembering what all of the girls have forgotten previously, right? And so she says, shut up. She got bit. She remembers everything. And that they're talking about Jess, the redhead with the freckles. And so they pick her up and she's like, no, 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 and breaks her neck, right? And I think that's King standing over her. So he's not afraid to murder people, right? So now this is just going backwards a little bit to where this is when they served everyone the venom alcohol, and this statue there in the back, pretty peculiar. I don't know what it means. I just know it's kind of creepy and naked. And so they're having this big laughter moment. And this is the guy with the cross thing I was talking about when she had her memory. But this time the memory is going to flash back to something more horrific. And I'm going to skip by this really quick because I didn't mean to keep the slide in here. But that's where they started raping the women and tying them up on trees. And you see right back there to the right is the bodyguard, the military guy, right? And between all this, you see another guy in the background getting at another woman. And the guy that's the crypto guy, I think he was getting pegged by another man. So say you don't have to tell me anything. And so at the same time, I think Frida's always also getting, and I think we're going to get to that slide in a minute. This is the woman again that's the Ghislaine Maxwell of the show. She just drank alcohol and started eating jelly beans and whatnot. So let's see where this is. Going backwards again a little bit. This is when Frida comes out from seeing the cell phones. And they're like, oh, there's Frida. Come on over. And she's asking her, how did it go? And she said the cell phones were useless. And they're looking like that because King is around and they don't want to show they're distraught. So they try to act like everything is normal. Now, back to the night of the whole debauchery and rape scenes. He's chasing the woman around. And again, none of them were expecting this. And now she's tied up here. And the therapist and King, the reason why the therapist has said amazing is because he asked King, do you think she's not going to remember any of this? And King is like, nope. And he says amazing, right? And then they move on to do whatever they're going to do with her. And so now comes the girl revenge part where some guys are, I think he got stabbed, and then she follows him down to the pool and continues stabbing him. This part is when he caught one of the girls, and the guy there is there to make sure that everything goes right so that he can take care of her. Frida runs off into the bushes, and the guy almost caught her. No, he did catch her. And before he was able to kill her, shoot her in the head, the Hispanic chick hit him over the head or something and then shot him. And then this woman here, she, Frida gave her some of the venom without her knowing. And she started to remember. And she's like, I don't want to remember. It's better that I don't remember. And that's a theme in the movie for people that want to stay captive to their prisoners. And there's a term for that's not coming to my head right now. Stockholm syndrome. But she just didn't want to remember. And so here, what's going on here again? She's getting together with the Hispanic girl, and they're saying, and then she shows her the picture, and she says, this is impossible unless, boom, Frida was already there before. And she had the red rabbit. That's why the woman kept calling her Red Rabbit on her fingernail, right? And so now they go to take care of business and kill some more guys. And in the middle of that, he's here in his throne in the room full of candles, and he's telling the Cody guy that you do nothing. You just do nothing. Cody's like, what do you mean? Basically, what he's saying is, you saw all of this go on, and you did nothing to help the girls. And the guy runs off when he heard something outside, and he gets shot by the Hispanic girl. And I'm not sure why he's saying it's good there, but now another memory comes back. Oh, he caught what's her name? Frida is in the room now, and he threw her to the floor, and now she gets flashbacks of when she was actually there before. And again, here comes the theme of the picture, the Polaroid. She's running. Right here, she's caught by her dress. He's holding her, and then she falls and hit her head on a rock. And then we see the lizard. That's why the lizard was in the beginning of the movie, because that's what she was staring at, right? And he turns her over, and she just smiles. And then we get back to the room that he's standing over her. And what goes on here is she doesn't kill him. The Hispanic girl comes to her rescue. There's a fire that goes on. The building burns down. His best friend is inside burning up as well. And the Hispanic girl says to her, are you sure you want to do this? And they don't show it in the camera at first, but when the camera pans backwards, Frida here is holding King, because in the movie he said that you're my best friend when she thought he was going to kill him. He was going to kill her. He said, why would I kill you? You're my best friend. Now, they don't explain what all that means, some sort of strange relationship. But then we skip now to this room again, right? And it's the same welcome party. And we see this guy walking from the gates of hell again. And someone brings up this potion and it has flowers on the fingernail this time instead of animals. And this is the potion that helps you to forget. Remember, and it's her, right? And she gives it to him, and they take him away. They arrest him for whatever reason. Now, if he was the whole guy orchestrating this stuff, it doesn't make any sense to me. Some of this is so contrived, but whatever. It's a movie, right? And so a lot of the songs played in this movie are directly to different themes or whatever. And it says, look at me, you know what you see. And it goes on. And that's pretty much the end of the movie, guys. That's pretty much the end of the Decode. And it's directed by Zoe Kravitz. And what else can I say? That is it for this breakdown. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, my camera's not working. Let's see here what's going on in the comments. Did it's Hollywood Wand. It's by Wally Tango Foxtrot Force at 4721. Let's see. Popcorn Yellow Striped, small popcorn. Let's see. Somebody says something about Tim. Let him cook. Let's see here. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. And William, sorry, William had to jet out because of time constraints, but I think this was fun. I think we uncovered a lot. There's a lot more to uncover, but I don't want to watch this movie again and catch the stuff that I missed. So I think we did a good job. And thank you for joining me. And, hope to see you on the next one. This is Hollywood Matrix. We have our playlist there. Our memberships are open on YouTube and on Locals and Patreon. And don't forget to support William Ramsey and his efforts on covering the dark mysteries out there in the occult as an investigator. And we also talk about technology on this platform. We talk about comic books, video games, whatever we have to do to expose darkness and uplift the name of Jesus Christ, we do. So thanks again for joining me. And don't forget, spread the gospel and don't let them burn. If you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our frequent updates.